y'all, this is TJ coming at you from GoFigureNews.com, and today we have a very exciting, unique piece to show off and to review for all of you who are watching out there. Now, this is the box. It is really huge. It is about 18 inches in height. Of course, this is Frankpool. Now, Frankpool comes from artist Stephen Cartoccio, who is under the moniker of Concrete Jungle Studio. And this figure is phenomenal. It comes in an edition of only 100, and he comes with his standard pose, but then it comes with 2 additional head sculpts. So if you didn't think that you were already getting something great, you get something a whole lot more. Now, these are numbered, and it is hand numbered up in the top. This is 37 of 100. And the back of the box, you would think that when you'd make a small edition like this, and this should be a large edition, let me tell you. I'm actually slightly verklempt over here. Here we have a cartoon. Stephen Cartoccio is an animator and a cartoonist, and he has this whole alternate vision of perhaps a Marvel character that you might have seen or know. And he is in this completely secondary universe. And this is really cute the way that this is done on the back. I'll just give you a good look. It is in full color. The box is sturdy. It's really, really well made. He's got a little bit of an icon here on both sides. And let's get right to the figure, because that's why we're here, right? Okay, so I showed you the outer box, and inside the box, this figure is packed extremely well inside of a styrofoam piece with various cutouts for the parts and accessories. So let me tell you what those are so that you know what you get. Inside the box, you have the body of Frankpool. You also have his arms that are separate, and they're wrapped separately. Now, these are done with a magnetic, so the arms just pull out very easily, but the magnetic is strong, like so, and you can see the space where it falls right into. This is smoother than velvet. It goes boom, right in. No twists, no ties, no glue, no hands, Mom. And that's for both of his arms. Now, his arms come with these guns that are, he actually has the finger on the trigger on both, a la a badass character that's out there in the streets, taking the streets by storm. His head is attached by a magnetic, and I'll show you that a little bit more in a minute. And also in the back, his katana, which are the 2 sword blades, are also attached by magnetics. And it is really, really strong. And the sculpts on these are really fantastic. I'm going to give you some close-ups, of course. This figure is made completely of resin, so let me tell you, this is quite an undertaking, especially to do 100 of these. Anyone who collects resin figures will be entertained, delighted, and excited by this figure, because it's got umpteen various little details here and there, including right here in the katana. On the handle, you have the sort of bandages slash leather straps that you would use to hold. And that pops right back into the center of the back, where you have sculpted onto the figure his sort of leather harness. He's got a cute little white tail that I'm going to point out right here. And the figure is all done with this really fantastic sheen. It is sort of a flat finish. It's in between a gloss and a matte. It's more, of course, towards the matte style, but it gives off this almost this feel that you can see the body of the character underneath. So there's like a, this really kind of realistic sheen, especially when it hits the light just right. So here he is from the side. Gonna watch out for those guns. Let me tell you, he's a serious character. The paint on this, my jaw is seriously on the floor. This is one of those figures in a million that you see and you think to yourself, wow, that is ultimate attention to detail. There is just the most subtle shading on the outer shirt here, where his beer belly is sticking out in this white section here. And you can see the folds of the clothing, which is really, really impeccable. And in the mask, there is just atop the red, you see this like lightest faint black gray sort of spray that it sort of makes it really feel like it's leather. Now, if you didn't notice this on the top here, you can see he's got, as if he's pulled his mask down, and he's got this kind of almost like whipped cream little dollop at the top, which I think is a nice touch. And you also see where his ears would be hiding underneath, and they're kind of poking out like as a bulge on both sides. I love the way that the eyes have this really heavy lid, and that all you see are the whites for his eyes, which would be built into the mask, of course. The musculature on the arms, the size of the hands is fantastic. As opposed to the feet give you almost that sort of platypus look. You can see it better with my hand here. But of course those are dog paws under there, as we will soon reveal. He's got a knife here at his side. He's got little pouches all the way around. He's got a knife at his ankle. So he comes armed and prepared for all battle. I also want to point out that here on the shoulder and side, you've got this black ribbed technique, which just adds a hint of texture, and it really makes it look like it's almost like a plastic applique or a metal applique of some sort of on his costume, but it's all made of the same material, but it's treated just slightly differently. Very minute details that bring the whole piece together. There's so much love gone into the details. This, I believe, is Concrete Jungle Studios' first figure in a To Be Growing series. Now, the series also will include a new character, Stanley, who is a little bit of a riff on Wolverine, and you will see him first if you're at Designer Con this upcoming weekend. So you're going to have to check that out if you're there. You'll see it before I do. I've seen the photos, and I'll pop one in here so that you can see what Stanley looks like. Basically along the same lines. He's kind of like a sidekick of Frankpool here. I just love the whole idea. Here we go. Let's have a little bit of fun. The artist decided to bring to life this figure by offering not one additional head sculpt, but 2 additional head sculpts for 3 in total. So I'm going to pop his head off. Very simple, very smooth, and it's got the male peg underneath. I'll put him right here. It's got some serious weight to it too. Now, this is going to be what he looks like, half obscured and half revealed. And here it goes. Voila! Simple as that. Check it out. It's got the same qualities all the way around and the same attention to detail. It's not just, we're going to throw together some head sculpts. It is down to the last detail. Now, you can imagine if they have 100 of these figures, they have 300 heads. So that's a lot of painting. That's a lot of detail. That's a lot of precision. On this one, you can see his fat cheeks and you can see his teeth with some slightly pointy teeth. His lip is pulled down. He's got a little bit of a gray sort of skin. And if you was paying attention, you might have noticed that Tenacious Toys had the limited edition gray variant version of this figure available at New York City Comic Con. So here is the Frankpool in mid-transition. Now we're going to go one step further and we're going to give you full-on bulldog face. The man behind the mask, who loves his Mexican food, chimichangas in particular, had a terrible accident. And so some of those details are included in this head sculpt. So here you have the third and final head sculpt, which I think is the most full of character. I love them all equally. Honestly, they all bring out a different way to view this particular figure. But here you have a very visceral, beneath the skin, beneath the mask, dog inside the suit. So here you have a kooky little bulldog face with almost, skin muscle scarage, and it's almost as if you've flayed open his head. Now this is what he looks like from the side. Of course, this figure, as opposed to the other two here, instead of the white eyes from the mask, so you've got the total mystery, you've got these scary yellow eyes, which I think are fantastic. And they give the character sort of like his real reveal. So that's who he would be. We don't know what he looks like under the suit because you only get that. But if you check out Concrete Jungle Studios' Twitter page, you will see some alternative arm sculpts, or they're just visions for, to share with the fans. And I think it's fantastic to see that. So here's the other profile here. And just to continue on the 360, I'll give you the back of his head. You can see how his ears poke out. You can see that from the front and the back. I love the molding here, and the sculpt is phenomenal. This particular head sculpt is the most intricate of all because you have so many different types of textures. It's like two different layers, and you've got a super matte overlay, and then you've got down here, you've got kind of almost it looks like ahi tuna. I don't know how else to describe it, but it's got the sort of the cartilage, the muscle tissue underneath, and it's just a slightly different color, so it makes it look kind of realistic, like when you get a cut sort of thing. All in all, I would recommend to you to check this figure out. And if you've watched our channel over the last several months, you will have noticed we've done reviews of lots of figures that we would have considered as a figure of the year. And this has definitely now officially gone into contention for the Go Figure News Figure of the Year. We won't announce that until the very end of the year, maybe not even until the beginning of 2017. That said, stay tuned for lots and lots and lots more. But for now, definitely pay homage to the creative spirit of Concrete Jungle Studio and its main man behind the scenes, Stephen Cartoccio. Our hats off to you. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe. And we'll see you right here next time on Go Figure News. Over and out.